Group C comes to a close on Wednesday here in Qatar as Argentina take on Poland, Saudi Arabia play Mexico. The scenario for Argentina is simple, and quite frankly it's all everybody is talking about here in the streets right now around Lionel Messi. Win and they are in, lose and they are out. Fitting really for a team that rides the emotional roller coaster like no other. The highs are really high, as we saw in the second game when Lionel Messi scored the goal against Mexico. The lows are an absolute crisis, as we saw in their first game against Saudi Arabia. In between, quite frankly, they've been very poor. Nowhere near good enough on the pitch. This gives them another opportunity to get that momentum and try and get into the last 16. They take on Poland, who also control their own destiny. Win and they are in, draw and they've certainly got a chance as well. Saudi Arabia also control their destiny in this group. They win and they're in as well. They play Mexico, and this is another team that many people are talking about here. The Mexicans have been awful, and that crowd haven't had a chance to celebrate one goal yet. They'll certainly hope to do that. Win and they've still got a chance. Everything else, again, this is another crisis. Should they lose, Tata Martino will be fired. It'll be the first time in 8 World Cups that they've not progressed through to the last 16. And again, a massive, massive crisis back home will turn around and figure out how they're going to go forward. A big day in Group C. Argentina and Mexico, two of the biggest teams here when it comes to the crowds. Their destination will be defined in their matches on Wednesday. Group D is the other one that concludes on Wednesday here in Qatar, and one spot is already secured in the last 16 by the reigning champions. The French have been fantastic, led by the brilliant Kylian Mbappe, and no one is now talking about harmony in the camp or the disappearance of Karim Benzema through injury. The other spot, likely going to either Australia or Denmark, but France, who play Tunisia, know that Tunisia still have a shot to get through to the last 16 if they beat the French by more than the Danes beat the Aussies, and if that game ends in a draw. Denmark come into this match knowing it's familiar territory for them. They lost the first 2 games in the Euros and need to win this match against an Australian team that they drew 1-1 with at the 2018 World Cup. Denmark are not panicking. They say in the press conference this is familiar territory for them, leaning on the reference points from the Euros. However, don't rule out Australia. They've taken the lead in both games so far, and Graham Arnold's team have a little bit of a swagger and confidence about them going into this match. The pressure will be all on Denmark, Christian Eriksen and others. Coming in, many people thought they were a dark horse. Now they are on the ropes. A big game between the Danes and the Aussies seemingly will find the other spot in that group.